Excellent. It would seem that I have just a single thing left to show now that I'm done flattening more of the continent. From time to time I'll have a little accident like drowning to death while laying some sand.
Ooh.
That's funny. Okay, good. It is on hard. Behold my nether and despair. It is as big as it gets, without being insane. For starters, at least. It's from coordinates 5, 12, positive and negative on all four sides, which means that it's a square kilometer in size. Not all of it's quite as impressive as this little bit here. But I believe that I've been doing well, for the time being. Oh, before I go over to the Blaze Farm, let's at least go up top, that way I can show you what's up there. It's not like it's anything tremendously special, but in the future it'll be rather useful. In fact, I do believe you can see from here. In fact, it probably won't even be all that much of a surprise. It's more of an expectation at this point. But I could certainly go for a hell of a boat ride on this, right? And naturally I have no worry about gassed fireballs with these slabs because they're old wood, so means they'll have the same hardness as a stone. Yes, the size is indeed ridiculous. It goes all the way to 512. Where am I at right now? Okay, oh, we can see it. Thank you, there we go. Let's see here, can I land that? I don't think I can land that without protection gear. Oh, in this version, it seems that protection and feather falling do the exact same thing. In fact, it would seem that protection and feather falling do the exact same thing all points in time, so long as you're only counting the distance that you're falling. So having a high protection set with a feather falling set of boots will be far more effective than having only a feather falling set of boots. I don't think I can make that. Then again, I suppose not even that would be really news to many people. Just common knowledge. Ah, there it is. Can I make my myself a shortcut. Oh good, I do have a shortcut. I was hoping that I didn't have to use one of the 2 dedicated pathways to get here. Somewhat dedicated pathways, at least. Now, of course, this is what it looks like. It's a double blaze spawner. I found one that happened to exist in my nether, and although the coordinates of the 2 boxes aren't really ideal, it still gives a decent little area in here where I can stand and I need to bring an enchanting table eventually, to where I can stand and just look at the things. Now, how can I go about finding my way down there? Have I left a couple of bricks I can knock my way through? Probably not. At this position, both of the blaze spawners are turned off, and I can actually give a little bit of a show of what's going on in there. Do you see these 4 spirally wires here? They take these 4 buttons here down to the floor into those 4 wires down there and control the majority of the farm. For example, this one opens the door and this one controls the sides. Once they're knocked off of the top area, which may take a time or 2 because sometimes they can jump in tricky ways, you go and push this button here, which activates the first of the conveyors. Now, of course, you do have to usually push it more than once because they can be tricky from time to time and manage to stick around, but it's usually on the second button press that you've got the entire chambers empty here. Once those chambers have been made empty, let me go ahead and do that again real quick. Almost. Almost. Come on, stop fighting it. Oh well, anyways, once those guys are gone, then we give this next button a try, and that one goes and escorts them from this holding chamber, which is well inside of range of everything in there except for their, what's it called? Particles, and lets them into here, where at the very end down there it was a little bit questionable about whether or not they were truly in range or not, and then past that it just escorts them up in here. And on future versions, this escorting works a little bit better, especially after 1.9, the combat update, and all of the hitbox changes that they do in those points to make everything super reliable. But other than that, for the most part, yeah, you can see that it pretty much is delivering them in here. In fact, it seems to have finished delivering them. And then from there I can usually hit them with poison a couple of times, followed by going and maybe hitting them with a damage potion, because hacking away with a sword is wasteful. That's the only way to describe it, just wasteful. There we are. But yeah, as you can see, it pretty much gives XP as much as you'd want it to. And now I can, what, just AFK for a while? Yes, it's all working. Okay, so yeah, I can just AFK for a minute. Let me see if there's a good place where I can see many things from one spot. Right then, I do believe we've reached the critical mass of blaze in the system to where no matter what I do, they'll always process at about the same rate through the conveyor. Now, I'm pretty sure that you've noticed because it's a lot easier in fast forward than it is in normal speed. But they'll pretty much shuffle themselves out of the first room all on their own without my intervention at all. I don't think that I'll wait for them this time. There we go. I sing a little song inside of my head while pushing the buttons, and that makes it to where I get the rhythm correct. Because if I get the rhythm perfect, then it makes it feel like I've definitely cleared the chamber of everything. And I can double check through one last pair of movements to know. Yes. Now, every blaze in the system is right there. I could and should and really want to go and hook up a system down there with a dispenser and a potion of potion. So that I can, a potion of poison. You know what I mean to say. But, let's go ahead and bring them up top instead. Now, in 112, really, when I push that button, they all go down in one shot. In everything before, I have to push the button at least a few times. But just that gives you such a good idea of how well it works. See, we got our first blaze up here, and the entire chamber is filled with blaze. That may look like a failure to some. That may look like a failure, but this elevator works all the way until current day Minecraft, and only gets better and better as the versions go on. I could have built an elevator that was exclusively good on only early versions. I could have built one that was exclusively good on only later versions. But I needed something that was somewhere in between, where no matter which version I was on, everything inside of the system would continue to work for me. Which means that some things aren't being done in the most optimal way possible. But this elevator, for example, here, I could put items into it, and it would be able to shuffle them all the way up here. So I'm extremely pleased about that. I almost see that alone as a mark of success. Now, as for if I came up with this elevator on my own, or if I ended up seeing someone else doing it and it sparked back into my memory, that's completely unclear. I can't remember. All I remember is that I was thinking about how can I possibly, and then I ended up coming to this. When I was thinking about, well, how do I power it, I came to that. The game's finally starting to lag enough. Now, Blaze in this version have about twice the weight that they should have, just because of all those particles that I can't turn off. In future versions, I should be able to turn those particles off. Or if I was running some kind of, I don't know, some kind of mod, I might be able to turn as much stuff off as I wanted. Now, technically, I could go and hook up a, what's the word? A clock to this button here. But I've actually got a pulse limiter down below, making it to where if I'm hitting the button too repeatedly, it'll ignore some of those button presses. And I want that because if for some reason the game becomes so laggy that the button becomes difficult to press, I want for that alone to be enough to stop me, so that I can reconsider my choices and think to myself, well, perhaps it would be okay to hit them with a couple of potions of poison and see how they feel about all that, and then maybe continue with the entire experiment. Right then, I'm not sure how fast you get to see that, but for me that took a ludicrous amount of time, seemingly a solid minute. Ah, here we are. Now for the part that I enjoy, not being able to see anything. It's practically the main reason that I run this farm. Now I can push the button to my heart's content. It doesn't matter. Now, the really nice thing is once the blaze are actually in this chamber here, they're once again well within the 32 range from the player to where they won't despawn. Or was it 24? Was it 24 or 32? I don't remember which of the two numbers it is. I remember measuring everything out while I was planning this thing, and had one world that was a testing world alongside this world that was normal world. Was measuring everything out inside of there, trying to figure out where I could place things, where things would be somewhat appropriate. Oh, it was a nightmare. It really was. Wait, is that what I need? Poison. A little bit more poison. Oops. Let's see here how to... There we are. Yeah, it's inflicting significantly faster this time. There we are. Oh yeah. There we are. Absolutely wonderful. Whole bunch of levels, whole bunch of fuel. I guess I could mix strength potions if I wanted. I don't suppose there's anything. It's not like anything is tremendously unique about the entire build. But it's mine, and that makes it special to me. I need to make a proper front door for it though, because I don't think this is a front door. Not just yet. I'm not finished building. It's the, what is it? The front door, I want to have it somewhere intersecting with this. Even if that's back here. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about it. The build style itself was a bit of an experiment. Everything about it was an experiment. I wanted to have some stone because I like the look of gray and silver and charcoal. All of the shades are pleasing to me. And the wood, I wanted to have the wood in the nether because, you know, everyone talks about wanting to have wood in the nether if it weren't for the gas going and burning everything down. Everybody always freaks out a little bit over the, oh, what's the word? Oh, this is an ice pathway. More than just a nice pathway, but a nice pathway. But yeah, I think that the entire design of the thing is good. I could have done better on various spots and pieces, but you can basically see exactly what everything is. Ah, of course, that's the old pathway. I'm pretty sure that those sandstone slabs are unnaturally strong at the moment. I'm not entirely sure about that, but at the moment I think they might be unnaturally strong. Of course, I've got my ice pathway absolutely encased in hard blocks. That way, if I get hit by a ghast, I don't have to worry about the ice getting broken. Because even if you don't have a 2-height ceiling for increasing the bounce power, it's still amazingly nice to be able to have the ice. Because you can move quite a bit faster. Just jumping. And also, come the day that I'll have Elytra, that'll make for a nice pathway for getting started, I'm sure. I only have the worry of a lava ocean down below, but then again, who knows what I'll do by then. I have a lot of time on my hands. Ah, these 4 blocks here, I swear I won't ever touch them. You know what they are. They're not oak. Now this is more than a fountain, it's a fishing helper. I won't explain it. And it would seem that my cobble monster turned into something more. And it would also seem that I've finished making space. There are no dogs there. That makes me wonder. Perhaps I need to go to spawn and do things to it to make it so that I can find a dog? That way a dog can wait for me somewhere. Forever. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that it seems that to a radius of at least 32 from the door, it checks for other doors, and those may or may not belong to a village. So in this case, under the assumption that I definitely load that corner and that far corner very, very, very first, then I've absolutely got 2 villages here. However, if I were to load the inner corners first, I think I would still have 2 villages here. And if I was to load the entire radius at a time, and check from that center point outward, I do believe that I would still be outside of the radius of that village. Which means that I couldn't share a pair of villagers between the 2 of these. Unless it checks a square area for villagers and a circular area for villages. Which I'll need to go and inspect, because I haven't a clue. But speaking of villagers, once that happens, we'll be seeing a little bit of a magic trick. Oh god, this messes with my head. The hell?